of the portion we studied in the last class. What we studied in the last class? We have seen about the different variation in terms of population growth in different region of India, like in northern state, in southern state, and how these variation changes if we compare the data of 1991 2001 census to 2001 to 2010 census. So just reverse. In 1991 2000 data, southern state have very lesser population growth, and once we enter into the census data of 2001 to 2011, southern states shows more population growth rate, and northern state, which was earlier showing higher population growth rate, now shows a trend of decline. So this thing we already seen. Then I discuss about the population of adolescent. So I told you all about like population age group of 10 to 19 year is of adolescent. They comprises around 21% of the total population, and amongst these 21% of the total population, 53% were males and 47% were females. Then I told you all people that these are youthful population, that's why they have high potential, but at the same time they were very vulnerable. They are so much vulnerable that they can, even if not guided properly or channelized properly, they can take a wrong path, they can indulge into the crimes, and for that the society has the responsibility towards these adolescent people, and mainly society throws, I will say, send or throws all their responsibility to teachers, school teachers and whatever teachers are there. Some of the things need to be looked after, like their age of marriages, which was very less earlier, than illiteracy level, particularly among the children, school dropouts, low intake of nutrients, all these things, all together with high birth rate in maternal mortality of the adolescent mothers. So it's like कम एज में मदर बन जाते हैं, तो उस केस में during baby's birth the mortality rate is also on a higher side. Then they are very susceptible towards alcoholism, drug abuse. They were very tend towards juvenile delinquency. This actually means habitual criminalization. So it's like they don't have fear, like they think of that they are juvenile, so they will not get punished, so they are into the crimes also. And in view of all these things, government of India has undertaken new policies, new programs. Okay, so from here we need to start. So in view of all these, government of India has undertaken certain policies to impart proper education to these adolescent group of children or adolescent groups, so that their talent are better channelized and properly utilized. They will not move towards delinquency, juvenile delinquency and committance of crime. They move in correct path. So that's why government used to undertake many things. They used to launch special policies like National Youth Policy is one of the example, which has designed to look into the overall development of our large youth and adolescent population. Okay, earlier, actually recently, there is National Youth Policy 2014 is the last youth policy, but before that there was a National Youth Policy of 2003, and according to that, which was this youth policy, actually your book is updated, this is new youth policy, but एक बार को इसके पहले वाले में क्या था वो भी देख लेते हैं. So it's like in 2003 or in 2003 youth policy, the government stresses on all around improvement of the youth and adolescent population, enabling them to shoulder responsibility towards constructive development of the country. It also aims at reinforcing the qualities of patriotism and responsible citizen. So it's like उनके अंदर देशभक्ति की भावना डालना, एक what is the role of a responsible citizen, what they need to do for the overall development of the country, what type of constructive work they need to do for the development of the country, how they are or they have been unable to shoulder the responsibility towards all these things is the main focus of National Youth Policy 2003. The thrust of that policy is youth empowered or youth empowerment in terms of their effective participation in decision making and carrying the responsibility of able leaders. So it's like जैसे क्लास में हम लोग बनाते हैं ना, मॉनिटर बनाना, 3 लोगों को अभी आपका एक अलग से लीडिंग स्टूडेंट्स और का ग्रुप बना हुआ है स्कूल में भी, दैट फर्स्ट थर्ड रैंक हैज़ बीन गिवन द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, उनको एक तरीके से लीडर ऑफ द चाइल्ड ग्रुप. इट्स लाइक डिफरेंट क्लासेस से 3 लीडर्स हैज बीन सेलेक्टेड और उनको स्पेशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दिया गया है ताकि वो भी बाकी स्टूडेंट्स को भी दे विल मोल्ड and turn into the correct path. So same way such kind of things was the part of National Youth Policy 2003. Okay, समझ आ रहा है बच्चों?
Yes sir. Yes sir.
So decision making में इन्वॉल्व करना बच्चों को means adolescent group को, and the responsibility is given to them as a able leader, that you lead by example in front of other students. उनको भी कन्विंस करो ताकि वो भी अच्छे काम करें. दे विल मूव देयर और दे विल टर्न देयर पोटेंशियल टूवर्ड्स पॉजिटिविटी इंस्टेड ऑफ टर्निंग इनटू निगेटिविटी. देन emphasis were given for empowering women's and girl child to bring parity in the male female status. So all these things has been covered up. Deliberate efforts were given to look into the youth health, sports and recreation and creative and awareness activities, and all these things nowadays is running in our country also, running in our school also. country नहीं, स्कूल में भी हम लोग करते हैं ना बीच बीच में टाइम टू टाइम, especially in this online classes schedule you have like sometimes XYZ type of competition, sports competition, recreation or creativity type of things like poster making, writing over the life of some of the freedom fighters. All these things are related to, जब आप उनके बारे में पढ़ोगे लिखोगे तो आप उनसे इंस्पायर होगे. So chances is like you turn towards positive things instead of moving towards negative things. So all these are the part of National Youth Policy 2003. Now recently देखो अब आपके बुक में जो ये 2014 वाला दिया है इसमें क्या चेंजेस किया है. So this Youth Policy 2014 launched in February 2014. Purpose is a holistic vision for the youth of India. Holistically, holistic का मतलब क्या होता है? What do you mean by holistic? बताओ.
सर कंप्लीट,
ओवरऑल, कंप्लीट, वेरी करेक्ट.
ओवरऑल.
हाँ, ओवरऑल मतलब ठीक है, कुछ चीज़ें निगेटिव भी हो सकता है, कुछ पॉजिटिव भी हो सकता है, बट ओवरऑल कंप्लीट जो आउटकम होगा दैट विल बी पॉजिटिव. सो काइंड ऑफ दिस काइंड. सो this policy purpose was a holistic vision for the youth of India, which is to empower the youth of the country to achieve their full potential, and for that enable them, so that enable India, so okay, through them enabling India to find its rightful place in the community of the nation. So it's like youth. Uh, in last chapter, when I taught you about the demographic transition theory, there I told you that India is having a very favorable demographic division. So it's like more number of people are either in working age group, or many of them are in the youthful stage. तो या तो वो ज़्यादातर पॉपुलेशन इंडिया में या तो यंग पॉपुलेशन है, दिस यूथफुल पॉपुलेशन इज देयर, और मेनली द नंबर ऑफ मोर नंबर ऑफ पीपल आर इनटू द वर्किंग पॉपुलेशन एज ग्रुप. So that is called favorable demographic transition. Instead of this case of India, if you compare with the population of Japan, their elderly population are more, and youthful or this working population are comparatively lesser, and there is no balance. More number of people are dependent in case of Japan and many other countries, China also. But India has a favorable demographic transition. More number of people are in this youthful category. और देखा आपने ये पुराना डेटा अकॉर्डिंग टू 2001 डेटा सेंसस डेटा, दैट इज द डेटा ऑफ 1991 टू 2001 सेंसस, 21% वेयर यूथ. सो 21% लोग यूथ हैं, मतलब एडोलेसेंट हैं. दैट नॉट इवन यूथ, दैट इज बिटवीन द एज ग्रुप ऑफ 10 to 19 ईयर, 21% अप्रॉक्सीमेटली. सो अगर ये लोगों को करेक्ट डायरेक्शन में राइट पाथ पे अगर ये लोग जाएंगे, एंड इफ इन अ पॉजिटिव मैनर दे विल यूटिलाइज देयर फुल पोटेंशियल, डेफिनेटली आवर कंट्री will be among the leading country of the world. So enabling or the utilizing the positive full potential of these youth population will definitely going to place India a rightful position in the community of the different countries of the world. And that was the purpose or aim of this National Youth Policy 2014. And according to this policy, they defined youth as a person in age group of 15 to 29. पहले वाला डेफिनेशन था 10 to 19. अब इन्होंने दैट एडोलेसेंट का पॉपुलेशन था 10 to 19, इन्होंने यहाँ क्या यूथ बनाया, और यूथ का जो डेफिनेशन डाल दिया, एज ग्रुप डाला 15 to 29. सो इट्स लाइक दैट एज ग्रुप इन्होंने एक अलग से डेफिनेशन दिया अकॉर्डिंग टू नेशनल यूथ पॉलिसी 2014. डेफिनेटली दिस नीड टू बी अमेंडेड बिकॉज थिंग्स आर चेंजिंग. मैरिज एज बदल चुका है, आजकल बच्चे जो हैं चिल्ड्रंस आर स्टडिंग टिल द एज ऑफ 30 years. देयर इज अ पॉलिसी ऑफ लाइक अगर आप नेट का एग्ज़ाम देते हो तो आपको ये दिया जाता है जो स्कॉलरशिप यू विल रिसीव आफ्टर क्वालिफाइंग नेट अप टू द एज ऑफ 30 year. सो ये सारी चीज़ें के अकॉर्डिंग इसको भी मॉडिफाई करने की ज़रूरत थी, तो यूथ का एक नया डेफिनेशन दे दिया. गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ऑल्सो फॉर्मुलेटेड द नेशनल पॉलिसी फॉर स्किल डेवलपमेंट एंड इंटरप्रेन्योरशिप इन 2015 टू प्रोवाइड एन अम्ब्रेला फ्रेमवर्क टू ऑल स्किलिंग एक्टिविटी बीइंग कैरिड आउट विद इन द कंट्री. तो इन्होंने एक मोदी गवर्नमेंट ने अभी आपने रिसेंट सुना भी होगा स्किल डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम. एंड इन अदर पॉलिसीज देयर एक और प्रोग्राम का इन्होंने नाम दिया है. द नेम ऑफ द पॉलिसी इज इंटरप्रेन्योर के लिए, लाइक स्मार्ट न्यू बिजनेस के लिए, न्यू इंटरप्रेन्योरशिप डेवलपमेंट के लिए दे हैव गिवन अनदर स्टार्टअप प्रोग्राम. सो स्टार्टअप मिशन और स्टार्टअप प्रोग्राम इज देयर. स्किल इंडिया प्रोग्राम एंड स्टार्टअप मिशन. स्टार्टअप मीन्स आप नया बिजनेस अगर आप स्टार्ट करना चाहते हो तो उसके लिए गवर्नमेंट हैज गिवन अ स्पेशल एक अलग से पॉलिसी उन्होंने बना रखा है रिसेंटली आफ्टर दिस न्यू गवर्नमेंट, मोदी गवर्नमेंट के बाद. सो दिस इज फॉर डेवलपमेंट ऑफ इंटरप्रेन्योरशिप अंडर स्टार्टअप प्रोग्राम. न्यू यंग youth population can start their own business. Government used to support them in many ways. So this way their aim is to develop more entrepreneurship type of thing within the youth Indians, and along with that skill development program including all the type of skills. आप IT में skill acquire करना चाहते हो, you want to get skilled in some other type of work, semi skill including all these things. So actually these two program is acting as a umbrella program, and other program or policy launched by the government were interconnected with this umbrella program. कि बाकी का कोई भी प्रोग्राम अगर आप कोई भी चीज़ लाइक राइट टू एजुकेशन है, सर्व शिक्षा अभियान हुआ, इंक्लूडिंग लाइक मिड डे मील प्रोग्राम. So any program related with adolescent population, any program related with youth population are interconnected with this skill development program and the startup mission of government of India, that is entrepreneurship development program of 2015. So these two program is acting like a umbrella program. और एक umbrella के अंदर कैसे आप बारिश होती है तो सब लोग आकर के वहाँ इकट्ठा हो जाते हैं, तो same way other program are connected to that point. So this is like overall program, same like holistic program. Umbrella holistic program is these two program and other program are interconnected to it. समझ गए? Understanding it all the students?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है.
Yes, sir.
So this two program is acting as an umbrella framework to all skilling activity being carried out within our country for this youth population, and to align these to common standard and link skilling with the demand center. It's not like खाली skill बनाना है, skill कर दिया. Skill development program के अंदर they allowed the youth population to register there. उसके बाद उसको skill acquire करने के लिए they help them, और हेल्प करने के बाद दे लिंक्ड इट टू द डिमांड सेंटर जहाँ जॉब मिलेगा. सिर्फ स्किल बना के क्या करोगे? यू हैव टू एम्प्लॉयमेंट एक्सचेंजेस आर देयर. वंस यू टेक द ट्रेनिंग फ्रॉम द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया अंडर दिस स्किल डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम, you have given the opportunity to these demand center. From there that youth population can get their jobs and related things. So everything is linked. उनको अगर youth is the future of India and there is a requirement that they need to be enabled through this skill mission or entrepreneurship development program, then after getting skilled, after getting the necessary things whatever is required, they also required, there is a need for the job too. So that's why this demand center or employment exchange will act as a job center, and everything is linked in a stepwise manner. So on paper how much effective it is I don't know. On reality, sorry, on paper nahi, on reality how much effective it is I don't know, but on paper it seems like very good measures taken by the government for the overall development of adolescent and youth population. It appears from the above discussion, from these all discussion, it looks like the growth rate of the population is widely variant over space and time. It's like same type of growth rate. अभी आपने देखा भी कि that North India have more growth rate in 1991 and 2001 census, whereas South India has little growth or less number of growth numbers. Same thing changes once the time changes. During the 2001-2011 census, things changes. South India increases with high growth rate and North India actually moderates its higher growth rate towards a moderate type of growth rate. So all these things will depend upon space and time. टाइम के साथ ग्रोथ रेट कहीं का ज़्यादा है कहीं का कम है, दैट विल चेंज. एंड एट द सेम टाइम इफ़ यू चेंज द लोकेशन और रीजन ऑल्सो, नॉर्थ से साउथ आओगे, साउथ इंडिया से किसी और कंट्री में जाओगे, स्पेस वाइज ऑल्सो देर इज वाइड वेरिएशन. ओके, so these things are there, variation is there over space and time in a country, and also highlight various social problems related to the growth of population. If they were not channelized in a proper way, they will cause hazard for the society, or can create a damage for the society. However, in order to have a better insight about the growth pattern of the population, which is the topic of the day, क्या पढ़े थे? Regional variation. So, to have a better insight into the growth pattern of the population, including sex ratio, literacy, and everything, it is necessary to look into the social composition of the population. And what is this social composition? सोशल कंपोजिशन क्या होगा? व्हाट इज दिस सोशल कंपोजिशन? Social composition includes everything from the society. It's like society structure is how many number of peoples are living in urban area, how many of them are in rural area, how many of them are males, how many of them are females, child sex ratio is what, normal sex ratio is what, literacy level of the society is what, how many of them are into working age group, how many of them are into non-working age group. So all these details are related with composition or social composition of population. So population composition is the next topic we need to start, and under population composition we will study all these things one by one and compare it with different region and between the different region of India at a different time interval. ठीक है? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Now population composition. So population composition is a distinct field of study within population geography. Population geography का ही part है, but separately we need to study it with a vast coverage of analysis of age and sex. That age group, that 0 से 19 years age group of population we are talking about, that is youthful population we are talking about, or working population we are talking about, or elderly population we are talking about, and their comparison. Sex, how many of them are male, females. Then place of residence, they are from rural area or urban area. In urban area they are from small town cities or metropolitan cities. Ethnic characteristics, language wise, how many of them are Muslim, Hindu, Christian, Sikh, Ishai. ठीक है, ये सारी चीज़ें. Then tribes, how many of them are belonging to tribal groups, especially in the tribal area, like in Chhattisgarh region, northeastern region. So 6th schedule is also there in our constitution related to the rights of tribes. So tribes, their language, their religion, or religion of entire India like Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai, same thing will. Ethnic is language. Ethnic is language based. Language means English, Hindi, जो भी आपका 22 scheduled languages are there, and rest we will see in detail. Ethnic means language based, and religion you already know, Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai. Then marital status, what is the age group of marriages, how many of them are married, how many of them are not married. Literacy and education level. Occupational characteristics, how many of them are working in primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector. Manufacturing में कितने हैं, quaternary and quinary sector में how many of them are working, and their pattern state wise. So all these things we need to discuss now. सो अभी तक आप लोग को लग रहा होगा कि पॉपुलेशन जान गए, पॉपुलेशन डेंसिटी जान गए, वी अंडरस्टैंड दैट, ठीक है, ये सारे स्टेट्स में पॉपुलेशन इंक्रीज हो रहा है, इधर डिक्रीज हुआ ड्यूरिंग दैट टाइम. तो एक क्वेश्चन इन लास्ट क्लास वन स्टूडेंट हैड आस्क्ड मी, बबलू शायद था ना, बबलू पूछे थे, यू आस्क्ड दैट सर समझ में नहीं आता है कि ये बर्थ रेट और डेथ रेट आगे पीछे कैसे हो रहा है और उसके कारण कंसिक्वेंसेस क्या क्या हो रहा है. यस और नो? क्वेश्चन इज आस्क्ड फ्रॉम द बबलू साइड कि सर समझ में नहीं आता है कि सर कैसे ये बदल रहा है. तो अभी तो हम वहाँ पे 2 पैरामीटर था बेटा, अब आगे जो पैरामीटर है आप समझ सकते हो फिर क्या होने वाला है, कितना ज़्यादा खिचड़ी पकने वाला है. सो दैट्स वाई दिस पॉपुलेशन ज्योग्राफी इज टफ. वन साइड में तो लगता है दिस इज वेरी इजी, क्या है, बट डेटा इज सो मच, इतना ज़्यादा डेटा है कि वो हौच पौच बनाएगा. बट वी विल ट्राई टू एनालाइज इट इन अ सिस्टमैटिक मैनर, डेफिनेटली. ठीक है, सब इजी हो जाएगा. सो in this section, the composition of Indian population with respect to their rural urban characteristics, language, religion, pattern of occupation will be discussed. Out of all above, जिसमें सेक्स रेशियो भी था, लिटरेसी लेवल भी था, तो ये सारी चीज़ें हम नहीं पढ़ेंगे. इस चैप्टर में हमको क्या क्या पढ़ना है? ओनली रूरल अर्बन कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स, इथनिक कंपोजिशन, लैंग्वेज बेस्ड, रिलीजन बेस्ड changes and pattern of occupational structure. These 4 things we will study in this chapter. Literacy, sex ratio and other composition, other population composition we will study in other chapter. ठीक है, इस चैप्टर में नहीं पढ़ना है. So we will see that later on. First of all, starting with rural urban composition. Okay, I think 5 minutes is left, so we will start with this topic. So rural urban, that is on the basis of place of residence. ठीक है, दिस इंडिकेटर इज ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ प्लेस ऑफ रेसिडेंस. आप कहाँ पे रहते हो, रूरल एरिया में, अर्बन एरिया में. और अर्बन का भी और रूरल का भी सब डिवीजन इज देयर, दैट विल बी डिस्कस इन अदर चैप्टर. ठीक है, in urban towns, city, mega city, metropolitan city, there is unlimited number of things are there. So right now we will focus only on urban and rural. Okay, so this place of residence is an important indicator of socio-economic characteristics. What it exactly means by understanding, by knowing the fact about the place of residence, you can gauge the fact. आप एक अंदाजा लगा सकते हो that how is the social or economic condition of that particular person. So analysis on the basis of just place of residence, social level and economic characteristics of a particular community or particular family or a particular person on the basis of their place of residence. So this place of residence is an indicator of the social and economic level of the family or social or economic level of the person. अच्छा, रूरल एरिया से है, डेफिनेटली सोशली बैकवर्ड होगा एंड इकोनॉमिकली नॉट दैट मच वेल, तो नहीं होना चाहिए. मैक्सिमम से मैक्सिमम अच्छा फार्मर होगा, अच्छे फार्मर के फैमिली से होगा, रूरल एरिया से है तो. व्हाट इट एग्जैक्टली मीन्स, बिग फार्मर फैमिली से है तो भी इकोनॉमिकली दैट मच नॉट एडवांस्ड. सो जनरल थिंकिंग, जनरल थॉट, जनरल परसेप्शन इज देयर. So kind of that's why this place of residence is acting like a important indicator. This become even more significant from a country where about 72% of the total population, it's like 68, actually older data is 72%, 68.8% of the total population lives in village. So in India, according to 2011 census, our rural population constitutes around 69%, यानी कि 31% urban. That was figure was just changed during 2011 से पहले 2001 डेटा. According to 2001 data, 72% were rural population and only 28% were urban. So 3% urbanization has been increased in one decade, and rural area is declining. Rural area is converting into city area with development, with changes. So 2001 data के according 72% was the rural area, and 2011 census says that it is 69%, 68.8. So exactly there is 3% increment in urbanization. Total urban area increases by 3%. Okay. Compare the data given in Appendix 4 and 4A. Calculate the percentage of rural population of the states in India and represent them cartographically on a map of India. क्या बोल रहा है? रूरल अर्बन के पॉपुलेशन को कंपेयर करना है एंड कार्टोग्राफिकली मैप ऑफ इंडिया में रिप्रेजेंट करना है. तो कार्टोग्राफिकली होता है सेम डेटा. सेम डेटा व्हाट इट एग्जैक्टली मीन्स कि अगर किसी स्टेट में आपको स्टेट वाइज अगर कार्टोग्राफिकली मैप इज यू नीड टू ड्रॉ, तो जिन जिन स्टेट का पॉपुलेशन अर्बन पॉपुलेशन, यहाँ अर्बन और रूरल की बात कर रहे हैं, जिन जिन स्टेट्स में अर्बनाइजेशन इज नियर अबाउट इक्वल, उन सारे स्टेट्स को एक सिंगल लाइन से जोड़ देना. फिर मान लो ये सारे जो मैंने जोड़ा है ये लाइन, दिस शोज द 30% अर्बनाइजेशन स्टेट्स. तो डेफिनेटली सम स्टेट्स का इससे कम होगा, किसी कोई स्टेट होंगे 28% वाले, तो वो सारे स्टेट्स को ऐसे जोड़ना एक लाइन से. फिर ये 28% अर्बनाइजेशन का लाइन हो गया, कार्टोग्राफिकल लाइन. सेम वे 26% जहाँ अर्बनाइजेशन है उसका यहाँ आएगा. कोई स्टेट का 35% होगा अर्बनाइजेशन, दे विल कम हियर दिस वे. सो दिस इज कार्टोग्राफिकल मैप. सेम डेटा showing states are joined by a single line and that is single cartograph. So this way ये कोई प्रैक्टिकल का पार्ट है, that will not important, आपके पूछता नहीं है बोर्ड के हिसाब से, नॉट इम्पॉर्टेंट, बट मैं शॉर्ट में आपको समझा दिया. An important aspect of population growth in India is growth of its no. Do you know से है, ठीक है ना? I went somewhere else. Do you know that India has 64,867 villages according to census of 2011, out of which 93.2%, approximately 5,97,000 are inhabited villages. What it means? Total number of villages in India is approximately 6,40,000, and out of these only 93.2% are inhabited. So what exactly means? 8% ऐसे 7% approximately 6.8% villages are non-inhabitable village. गूगल पे जाके सर्च करना vacant village. So approximately 43,000 villages in India are inhabitable. Bhutiya village, ghost village. Earlier time people used to stay there because of many type of things. लोग अब वहाँ से छोड़ के चल दिए हैं because of difficult condition there to sustain life there. Like in desert area of Rajasthan, many village has been, उनको खाली कर दिया लोगों ने. Same way in hilly region many villages are. So this way out of total village 5,97,608 villages are inhabitable village. ठीक है, और बाकी में लोग नहीं रहते हैं. Okay. The distribution of rural population is not uniform throughout the country. Same like the population, same like in case of population and population growth, this rural and urban population is not uniform also. many area have more number of urban area, more number of population residing, or level of urbanization is more in many region of India, and some area have less urbanization. Like Bihar mein urbanization is less. When you go towards the western states, like in case of Maharashtra, Gujarat, so that side, in southern state also urbanization is more. So that we will see कि किस किस स्टेट में urbanization level is more and where it is less. So overall the distribution of rural population is not uniform throughout the country. Bihar has more rural population, whereas western states Haryana, Punjab has less rural population. So that we will see. You might have noted that the states like Bihar and Sikkim have very high percentage of rural population. बिहार तो है ही बड़ा स्टेट्स में, बिहार इज मोर रूरल. ओके, सेम वे सिक्किम इज अमॉन्ग द स्मॉलर स्टेट्स. पता है आपको कंचनजंगा, इट्स लाइक बंगाल के हेड पे सिक्किम इज देयर बिटवीन नेपाल एंड भूटान. दैट इज द प्लेस ऑफ सिक्किम. And these two states have high percentage of rural population, whereas the states of Goa, Maharashtra have only little over half of their population residing in village. So वहाँ पे 50-50 है, 50% urbanization approximately, 50% rural. That we will compare in later class. ठीक है, अभी यहाँ तक ही रोक देंगे. आज के क्लास को मैं यहीं पे स्टॉप करूँगा. So that's it for the